I'm out here at Moonfire and Sun. We're in Bend. I'm with Carrie. And Carrie, we are in deer country, and you guys are very familiar with deer, so we thought it'd be great to come over and do a story about deer.
Well, I appreciate it. We certainly are. As you guys noticed when you came in, we don't have a perimeter set for deer, which is, in my opinion, the best thing you can do. So if you don't have a barrier, it's important to pick plants that, you know, may not be their favorite salad bar to munch on.
Right, because I'm assuming, customers are coming in daily asking for plants that are deer resistant.
Absolutely, if not hourly.
Yeah.
Whether you're planting in the front yard or the backyard, most times they want to know that it's not going to be chewed up by deer, because we've seen deer hop a 6-foot fence before.
Right, and you said you have deer walking the nursery in here every day, basically.
They do. They are unwelcome, yet they still keep coming.
Right. So you have a great selection here of plants that you've picked out that are deer resistant. So let's run through some of these and see what we have.
Yeah, so, like I tell my customers, when you're set out to pick some deer-resistant plants, the best thing you can do is go for, first of all, a texture that they don't prefer. A good example of that is your stackies, the lamb's ear. Its softness, for some reason, is quite undesirable to them. Similarly would be your poppy that is, thorny, hairy. If you think I wouldn't want to eat it, likely neither do they.
They're not going to like it either.
Anything with a thorn, like a barberry, as you see here, they tend to steer clear. That said, in the early spring, you might notice that young deer will eat the new growth off of a barberry and then keep moving.
They just kind of graze through, because a lot of times they're not going to just devour it down to the ground and kill it. They're
exactly. Yeah, you want to pay attention in your yard. You can notice signs of deer well before you've lost the plant entirely.
And then there's some other ones that you have in here that have some flowers or that might not be the texture. So what else do we look for in
Absolutely.
For deer-resistant plants?
So one perennial I like is liatris. To me, it even seems like it would be deer food. However, it's been proven that they just move right past it. Your butterfly bush, great for bees, for birds, for butterflies. They move right on past it.
Interesting. And then is it a fragrance thing that they tend to not like, or is it?
Yeah, sometimes a strong fragrance like lavender or sage. It is strong enough that I think their noses that are on,
they're alert. They're sniffing a lot.
Yes, they've got good sniffers on them. So the stronger the scent, often the quicker they move past it.
Right, because you have a couple other nice perennials that are in here too.
Yep, absolutely. Veronica is one that I love. This is an upright version. It's got a great flower on it. You would think that it would be enticing. Thankfully, they move on past it.
And then it looks like you might have a salvia down there too.
Yep, salvia. In my observation, again, is that texture of the leaf. Even the flower itself, the petal is almost it feels like a fabric flower.
Right, and you have some of the fragrance in some of the salvias too.
Absolutely, yes.
And then you have a couple others up here. Looks like a mugel
Yep,
pine.
an evergreen. Everybody loves evergreens for borders, for a winter interest, especially in Central Oregon where we get a lot of snow. Thankfully, the deer aren't interested in a needle like this. Your spruces, junipers are a fantastic evergreen that they stick away from.
And then boxwood, it's another evergreen, but it's not the conifer leafy.
Absolutely. I think that's just pretty lucky, because if I'm looking at this, I would think that a deer would eat it.
Right?
Absolutely.
So once we have kind of, a selection of plants that we have and we've come in and we're planting them in our yard, you're talking about, plants are deer resistant, not deer proof, right?
Yeah, the notion of having something be deer proof is just null. There are things in my neighborhood that they don't eat. Here at the nursery, they mow it down. So I use a rule of ABCD always a barrier to control deer.
Okay.
If you have a fence, that's obviously the best control. Chances are they're not going to take over the fence to come into the yard.
Right. And it looks like you have a couple products here that you recommend for
Absolutely. For a garden bed, maybe you just have some vegetables. A Deer X is really nice. Keeps them out. It's easy access for you to get into your vegetables to cultivate or to fertilize, whatever you need. It's removable. You can keep using it year after year.
Right. And so aside from the the netting, what else do you have?
I just always want to keep in mind of birds. This netting is larger so that it keeps deer out, but if ever you're worried about a heavy presence of birds in your yard, it doesn't hurt to ever put something to distract them so that they stay out of the netting.
Okay.
Keep everybody safe and out of your vegetables.
And that looks like a flash tape?
It is, yeah. It is reflective and it just sends them in a different direction.
Oh, nice. And then you have a couple other products down there.
Yeah, so here at the nursery, we have overhead irrigation. We have to spray very often. It gets rinsed off, so in our nursery, it may not last as long as your yard. Additionally, we like to alternate. They do get used to a certain brand and they will decide that they'll go for it if you don't kind of change it up. These are great. There's nothing to them. You can spray them on vegetables, flowers. They don't burn. They're just essentially egg solids and some essential oils.
Okay. So once again, giving that taste that they don't like or a smell.
That smell. Yeah, I think it's definitely the smell, like you said.
And then you have one other product down there.
Yeah, Granular, and it helps with other pests other than deer. It's long lasting. You can build a perimeter with it. We have a little too much space to conquer here to use it, but in a residential backyard, it's very effective.
So more information on where can people come in. Obviously they can come into the nursery here and get information from your knowledgeable staff. But
absolutely, we prefer that above all. We like to make a connection with our customers. We love when you just come in. We're happy to answer questions over the phone. It's a busy time of year, so as many people as we can get in to have a one-on-one with our incredible staff, the better.
Right, and you also have social media presence.
Absolutely. Right now we're active on Instagram and Facebook. Our website is currently under construction, but it'll be up and running before the end of summer, I'm sure of it.
Gotcha. So for more information on Moonfire and Sun or here in Bend, or for more information on deer-resistant plants, make sure you come out to the nursery or follow them on Facebook and Instagram and get more information. So, Carrie, it's been a pleasure to be out here and learn all about how to keep either the deer out of our yard or what they shouldn't be eating in our yard.
Absolutely.
Thank you.